interesting, isn't it? You know, when you look at the British monarchy and how they've interacted with us, the great British public, of course, the Commonwealth, people around the world. We feel we know them more than ever. And that's all thanks, really, to the digital platform that we live in today. William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, have their own YouTube channel. Everything's on digital platforms. And we know instantly where they are, who they've met, what she's wearing. Everything's dissected. But of course, it didn't always just start that way, you know. There were other reasons behind that. As I told you way back at the start of the last century, Edward VII was the real key factor to making sure that he was seen by the great British public at that time, and then this sort of burgeoning newsreels of Pathy News. But there was another royal that was very instrumental in making sure that we saw behind the scenes and what we now take basically as today as the norm of the British monarchy. Let me explain. Hi, good morning. Neil Sean here. Nice to see you as ever. Thank you so much for your company. Let's have a wave today. You all right? Yes. Not bad, thank you. And nice, as I say, to see you. Hope you're all keeping well. The weather has eased off after the debacle of the last few I know I love to share these things with you. You like to share though, don't you? Well, it's what it's about, you know. You know what's happening in my day. I know what's happening in your day. Thank you so much for your lovely comments about the Jane Mansfield story. I know, opening the Chiswick flyover. Where does it end? Of course, people, celebrities have always done everything for profile and for money. It's a little bit like this story. As I say, I've often told you here on the show, I was lucky enough, particularly in the sort of era of working for fast 24-hour news, to go and cover things like Cannes, the Oscars, all of those big events, you know. But I was always more interested in the golden era stars, you know, the ones that had true stories. And as many people know who watch this show, one of the good friends that I made was Mickey Rooney, who told me this particular story, which I thought was fascinating when I refound it again. And this is simply because way back in 1930, Joan Crawford and Douglas Fairbanks Jr., when they were married for that brief period, had been invited to a very special event, a Pickfair. This is Mary Pickford, the silent movie star, and Douglas Fairbanks Sr. Now, of course, she'd been known as playing America's sweetheart and was the #1 box office sensation. But as Joan Crawford pointed out to Mickey Rooney, she was certainly not going to be dictated to by a 35-year-old Goldilocks and a flabby Robin Hood. That's Joan for you. But the bottom line was there was a big event at Pickfair, and Pickfair was like the most magnificent Hollywood mansion that you could possibly imagine in that era. It had everything, you know, electric, you know, swimming pool, heated, all that sort of stuff. But there was big royal news because Lord and Lady Mountbatten were the star guests of that particular dinner. This is the first time that Joan Crawford had ever met royalty. And according to Mickey, the real reason why they'd set up this meeting was, yes, they were fans of Joan, thanks to movies like Our Dancing Daughters the previous year. They were big fans of Mary Pickford. But the ever-resourceful Louis wanted to know exactly how the movies worked and whether that now could be transposed in a bigger arena for the British monarchy, i.e., you know, getting newsreels out to big charitable public royal events. And when you think about it, this was very forward thinking, and a lot of people don't realise just how instrumental Louis Mountbatten was within the British monarchy, shaping it, changing it, moving it forward. Not necessarily the most favourite person of our late Queen Mother, let me tell you. But for him, we have a lot to thank because he pushed the royals in a totally different direction. And apparently after that dinner, that meeting at Pickfair, he was wholeheartedly sold on the fact that motion pictures, newsreels, and letting the public know a little bit about the inside workings of the monarchy was certainly the way forward. Now, what a forward thinking Louis Mountbatten was. No wonder Prince Charles liked him so much, as he then was, I know he's King Charles, don't tell me off. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.